of Research Foundation of India for the steamed 10 days training program and FDP on a step-by-step guide to writing a good research paper. Today marks the third day of our journey, and we are indeed privileged to have Dr. Priyanka Chawla ma'am with us, a diligent and strategic research expert who will enlighten us with her session on questionnaire design and development. A hearty welcome to you, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Uh, so, before we delve further, allow me to shed light on the esteemed organizations behind this initiative, the Research Foundation of India and RFI-CARE. Additionally, our heartfelt gratitude goes to our generous sponsors, namely Eklavya University, JHARF, Academic Research Guide Association, and Edu Academic Inc., whose unwavering support has made this event possible. Before moving ahead, I would like to acquaint you all with the impressive profile of Dr. Priyanka ma'am. Having amassed 13 years of academic finance experience, she holds both an MBA and a PhD earned in 2015 while continuing postdoctoral studies. Currently positioned as a senior assistant professor at Prestige Institute of Management and Research in Indore, she has previously contributed to institutions such as Acropolis and Delhi College. Her expertise encompasses areas like self-help groups, microfinance, operation research, and financial management. Known for her academic Known for her dynamic multitasking ability, she actively organizes workshops, conferences, and faculty development programs. Widely recognized as a valuable resource person, she conducts sessions on ICT tools and research methodology. With a prolific publication record boasting over 30 works, including 2 books with ISBN numbers, she has received numerous accolades, winning international case study competitions and earning research excellence awards. She has chaired sessions at international conferences and holds editorial roles for reputable e-journals. Furthermore, her video lectures can be found on YouTube, and her articles are featured in esteemed platforms such as Shiksha.com and Free Press newspapers. So that's all about the madam's expertise. Thank you so much. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Neha, ma'am, for this lovely introduction of mine. And before I start, I would like to give my sincere thanks to Research Foundation of India, each and every member of RFI, especially Dr. Saurabh Jain sir and Dr. Ajay Jain sir, for showing his trust, for showing their trust on me, and providing me the topic. So today my topic is questionnaire design and hypothesis framing. So I'm going to share my screen first. Okay, how many of you are facing problem related to designing the questionnaire? I hope my voice is audible to all.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
So most of you are pursuing just a minute. So most of you are pursuing PhD or on the way of completing your PhD. So how many of you are facing problem or have faced problem in designing the questionnaire? You can raise your hands if you are new to this, if you are a research scholar or pursuing PhD and still on the stage of designing the questionnaire, then please raise your hands. So what type of problems you are facing or you have faced at the time of your PhD, doing pursuing PhD, or what problem related to questionnaire you have faced? Those who are doing or who are pursuing PhD, I would like to ask one question. Do you know that there is a difference between skill development and questionnaire design, or both are same? Can you answer this? Will you be able to answer this? Are questionnaire designing or skill development both are same, or is there any difference between the two? If you are not comfortable in answering the question, then you can type it on the chat box. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? What I'm trying to say? No. My question is, when you design a questionnaire, when you prepare a questionnaire, so is there any difference between questionnaire design and developing a skill? This is my question. Are these two things are similar in nature, or is there any difference between two? Any answer from your side? Okay. Okay. Questionnaire design, where and questionnaire prep is all about question. No idea. Okay. Let us start from the scratch. Wherein questionnaire preparation is all about the designing question and including new taxonomy. Okay, we will start from the scratch. So for this, I will be sharing my screen. Okay, you know how to collect the data. There are two ways to collect the data, primary as well as secondary. This you all know very well. Primary means this is the first hand data, right? That is, we as a researcher or we as a interviewer, we ask question from the interviewee. We are here to collect the data. This is the data which was collected for the first time from the respondents, right? So this is called fresh data because we are collecting it for the first time, very first time. So this raw data we are collecting. We make our involvement. If we talk about secondary data means the second hand data. That means data which was already collected by someone, and now we are referring it in the form of magazines, in the form of books, in the form of newspaper, right? This is the basic thing. Once we collect data in the form of primary, that means through primary data is collected with the help of questionnaire. Primary data is collected with the help of observation, right? With the help of interviewer, with the help of schedule, right? So once we collect the data, then we feed it. But preparing a question is one of the difficult tasks because if questions that we have designed for our research work, if that is not correct, then I mean the instrument is not correct, then obviously the output, the result will not be correct, right? Agreed? Getting my point? Right. So it is necessary that when we go for preparing a questionnaire, we should know what type of questions we have to include. We should know what type of data we have to include. We should know from where do we add statements? Because it is necessary whether you are going for questionnaire design or you are going for scale development. These both things are two different things, but it looks similar. So I'm going to share my screen first. I believe that you are able to see the screen. So when we talk about journal, one more thing, there are two type of journals. There are two type of data. One is quantitative and another one is qualitative data, right? Okay. Do you know the difference between quantitative and qualitative? Again, quantitative means number form. In number we are getting, and qualitative means not in number. Okay. Again, there are two type of things, quantitative and qualitative data. Are you aware of this quantitative and qualitative research? Is there any difference between quantitative and qualitative research? Quantitative means number based. We are collecting the data and we prepare questionnaire. We go for some statistical tool, right? This is called quantitative. Clear? When we go for qualitative means open-ended question. It is not necessary that we do not include any questionnaire. Questionnaire will be there. We collect the data, but it is in the form of open-ended. In quantitative, when we prepare questionnaire, most of the questions are in the form of close-ended. 80 to 90% questions are in the closed form. And while if we talk about qualitative data, 80 to 90% questions are in open-ended form. So when we talk about what you feel after watching the ad, what you feel when you see that particular movie, so this is called open-ended. So when there are open-ended type of questions, that means it is a part of qualitative research. And when we talk about some close-ended questionnaire, that is the binary form, or we can say the yes or no form, or we can say the categorical form, or we can say uh, multiple choice of questions, then it is called quantitative data. Clear? Clear? Just a minute. I hope my voice is audible. My voice is audible?
Yes, ma'am.
So, do you know the difference between qualitative and qualitative research? So, can we move forward? Somebody has raised the hand. Do you want to ask some questions? Or shall I move? Do you want to ask something or shall I move forward? Okay. Somebody has raised their hand. I have started the session just 10 minutes before. I mean 5 minutes. It's just 5 minutes I have started. Okay. So there is a quite difference between qualitative and qualitative. I think are you aware of qualitative and quantitative research? Now we are moving forward. So the same thing I have written over here. When we talk about quantitative research or qualitative research, the data, if we talk about quantitative means data is collected through sample or some statistical techniques were done in case of quantitative data. But here we do not go for some statistical technique in qualitative research. So when we talk about, do you know, in general, if we talk about general, which one is more in demand, quantitative or qualitative? Any answer from your side? Which one is more demanded? When we talk about publishing a paper in a good reputed journal, then which type of research study is more acceptable? Qualitative or quantitative?
Quantitative.
Quantitative is much more in demand because we apply some statistical technique and tools over there, and it is said that quantitative research is more authentic than qualitative because we have to collect data, and when we have to collect data, then we go for questionnaire design. Okay, so that means journal is little bit biased towards quantitative research. So it is our responsibility to design a questionnaire in such a way that it should meet our objective and further output goes well, right? Now, again, there is a difference between two. When we go for scale development and when do we go for questionnaire design? These both things are different things. Questionnaire design is quite different from scale development. Questionnaire design means the questionnaire is already available and you are making some changes in the language. So this is called questionnaire design. You already have some questions. You already have the base. You already have something in the form of questionnaire. Some previous experts have already established some scale on the basis of which you are preparing your own questions on the basis of your research, and you are making the minor changes in the language. This is called questionnaire design. While scale development means you are developing the scale, you are developing questionnaire from the scratch. Okay? Like if we talk about cervical model. Cervical means, have you ever seen cervical model?
Quality checking.
Service quality model. So the questionnaire, the scale was already developed by Parshuraman, and now it is applied everywhere by making some changes. Like if we talk about some service, or if we talk about how convenient are you with the services of this particular organization, how and related to ambience, related to infrastructure, related to service quality. If we talk about any organization and we take if we take the statement as a base and we are doing some changes, so this is called questionnaire design. But if we are developing our own scale, that means you do not refer any other questionnaire, you are developing it with the help of literature review. You do not take help of any statement. You do not have prior statements available. What you are doing? You are just developing scale on the basis of, you are developing statements on the basis of the literature review, the past studies. You are at the stage of exploring. So this is called scale development. Okay. So I'll show you the cervical model of Raman.
Good evening, ma'am.
So the cervical model joy contains 26 items. It has 5 dimensions: tangibility, reliability, responsiveness, assurance, and empathy. So based on this, there are some statements. हाँ, ठीक है, चला गया. Tangibility. Tangibility, reliability, responsiveness, assurance, and empathy. So this is the already developed scale. It was developed by someone else, but we can use this statement and make some changes in our study. Like if we talk about tangible, somebody has done taking the same construct as a base. What they have done, they make changes in the core statement. Bank X has all the necessary modern equipment. The employee are near appearing. The pamphlets and statement are clear, attractive, and well explained. The branches have convenient sitting and waiting arrangements. So they take the cervical model as a base, and they took the 5 construct as a base and make further changes in the statements as per the requirement of the study. So this is called questionnaire development. But if we talk about scale development, no ready-made questions or scale available. You have to develop your own scale with the help of literatures, and from the literatures you have to prepare your own statements. Apart from this, when you go for scale development, then what you have to do, you have to apply 5 to 6 reliability and validity tests. You have to go for reliability test, Kornwall-Kalfa, and you have to go for CFA. All these things you have to apply before developing a scale. Dimension construct, dimension reliability, validity, construct validity. So all these phases, 5 to 6 steps you have to clear. So this is called scale development. Okay. So now, I hope it is clear the difference between the two, scale development and questionnaire design. Both are different things. So I've already explained here. If we take the items and we make changes, it is called questionnaire development. And if we go for every item, 50% statements are taken from exploratory study or literature, then it is called scale development. Okay. And another difference is statistical treatment in scale development is robust, as we have to come across 5 to 6 phases of reliability and validity. So let us understand the theory, what we have to measure. When we go for questionnaire development or questionnaire design, so you should know what is qualitative and quantitative research. As I told you, what is qualitative and quantitative. What is qualitative? Can you give me a brief example? I explained you with the help of 2 lines, but can you now will you be able to explain me qualitative and quantitative research? Qualitative and quantitative research. Quantitative means here survey method is popular, we go for questionnaire design, right? That means 90% questionnaire will be questions are designed or prepared by applying close-ended questions, right? And only 1 or 2 will be the open-ended in case of quantitative research. But if we go for qualitative research, we cannot say that questionnaire are not useful. We cannot design questionnaire. Questionnaire is must, but if you want to know the perception, or if you want to know the people or audience how they feel after watching the particular ad or after watching the particular movie, then it is not close-ended questionnaire. It is open-ended because they will give you their opinion, right? So this is called qualitative. So based on first question, you will ask second question in the open-ended form. But before designing the questionnaire, it is necessary what you are going to measure. Yes, quantitative is measurable. What you are going to measure. So let us take one example. Suppose if you want to know the motivational level of employee. So can I go directly to the employee and ask the question, are you motivated? So he will say, yes, I'm motivated. But it is not necessary that every time he will be motivated. There may be circumstances that he is not satisfied, or it may depend on his or her mood. So we cannot say that every time he is motivated. We cannot fully rely on this yes or no type of question. So what we will do, we will change the pattern. Instead of asking directly whether you are motivated or not, we will develop some question in indirect form. I will list the statements like, I'm enjoying doing my work. My boss always called me for the decision-making process. I am called in the meeting. I feel happy, and I feel happy doing my job. My colleagues are good. My compensation, we can talk about compensation and implement promotion process. So these are the indirect way of asking the question from the employee, and accordingly we go for that. I hope it is clear. So I hope it is clear, and you know the difference between qualitative and quantitative research. Agreed? Shall we move forward? Okay. So when we talk about questionnaire, so what's the very first thing is to understand. Do you want to ask anything? Hello. So the very first thing is to understand the concept. What is the concept? You know what you are trying to measure. So operationalize the concept with the help of what you are trying to measure. The third thing is to make systematic literature review. So that means there are three stages. First is to search and find, understand and analyze, and third one is arrange and present. The very first thing is search and find. So when you go for literature review, the very first thing is how to search and how to find the literature.
Priyanka ma'am.
People generally get confused. So these are some of the useful database from where you can search your literature.
Priyanka
Like,
ma'am.
yes,
1 minute. Ritanjali ma'am, please mute yourself. Ritanjali ma'am.
is there any option to unmute them from our side?
No ma'am, I don't have access to it.
Yogaraj sir, म्यूट कर दीजिए ना किसी को, कोई है पीछे से आवाज आ रही है. Thank you. So shall we move forward? So these are some of the useful database from where you can search your literature. And nowadays, some AI tools are already available. So we can make use of that AI tools and we can take the advantage of that tool also. So these are some of the common database available for searching your literatures like Google Scholar, Scopus, JSTOR, AppStore. So this is the first step. The second step is now. It is necessary when you go for literature review, it is necessary that theories are must. You must understand the concept behind the theories. So you can even search it through theoretize.org. Many theories are available there. Apart from this, it is necessary that you should prepare a format in a tabular form mentioning all these things that will help you in your research. Like if I talk about, the very first thing is name of the author. Then we go for what are the objectives, what he has done, what methodology he has adopted, what are the variable he has used for his study, whether it is independent variable, dependent variable, confounded variable, and number of variables are there. So we should understand which variable he has used, how many items are there in the statement, what are the findings of the study, whether it is significant or non-significant, the limitation in his research will be the gap, and we can use that gap in our research to fulfill that gap. So the limitation of other research will become the gap of the study, and we can use that gap, we can take advantage of that gap and use it in our study to answer the question. Then another thing is research. What is the future scope and suggestion? The name of the journal and the country, whether it is in India or it is outside the India. So this is the second stage. First stage is to find out the literature and then prepare the format accordingly. And then we have to prepare a model. Generally, this model is used in after applying EFA. You can go for confirmatory factor analysis. So this is the model of CFA. So these are some of the constructs which are shown in this circular form: information acquisition, opportunity enabling, strong tie, resource mobilization. These are some of the constructs. Under each construct, there are some statements available. And when these four statements join together, it affects the organizational networking, which is affected by these three statements. So this is the model. And when you go for this model when you go for CFA. So I hope it is clear up till now. Okay, thank you. Now moving ahead. So these are some of the points that you have to remember while designing the question. I'll ask one by one. Just tell me which option is better. So we all know very well the questionnaire, when we prepare, it should not be the duplication of work. It should not be confusing. It should not mislead the respondent. So we have to mention each and everything. Like when we prepare the questionnaire, then we have to define the issue. The statement should define the issue. It should be ordinary word instead of applying some complex words. It should avoid ambiguous words. It should avoid misleading questions. We should use positive as well as negative statements as well. So that, are you aware of that normal distribution table? So that data, the result of the data should be skewed, not unskewed, not positively skewed, not negatively. So we should add both types of questions, positive as well as negative. So when we talk about defining the issue means it is in the term of who, what, when, where, why, and where. The 6 W's. Now, if I talk about, I'll be giving you two options. The first is, which brand of bath soap do you use? This is the first question. The second question is, which brand of bath soap have you personally used at home during the past month? In case of more than one brand, please list all the brands that apply. So which option is better? Question 1 or option 2? Which one is better? Yes. The second one is better because it is defining all the things. It is not confusing. It is up to the point. In first question, which brand of the bath soap do you use? This is a simple question, but it is not defining which brand you are using, where you are using, from how many days you are using, frequently using or occasionally using. These are not given in the first option. While in the second option it is given. So that means it defines the issue. It is the second option, which brand or brand of bath soap have you personally used at home during the past month, right? So this is better because it is defining the issue. It is using the ordinary word. It is avoiding ambiguous word. All these poorly worded questions are avoided. Now, use of simple word. Again, I am giving you two options. Is the distribution of snack food adequate? Are the snack food readily available when you want to buy them? Which is better? Is the distribution of snack foods adequate? This means that the snacks food which are distributing are adequate. This indicates, this first option is indicating the snacks food that we are going to distribute is adequate. It is enough. While in second option, it gives the interpretation like, are snack foods readily available when you want to buy them? So this is up to the mark. The second option is better than first because the first one is interpreted interpreting in different way, while second is up to the mark as per the research, right? Yes. Moving ahead. Use of ambiguous word. That means only one word meaning. Unambiguous word. That means only one word. Use of only one meaning. Again, I will be giving you two options to understand in a better way. In a typical month, how often do you go to a movie theater to see movie? Never, occasionally, sometime, often, and regular. This is the first option. Second option is in the typical month, how often do you go to movie theater to see movie? Less than once, one or two times, 3 to 4 times, or more than 4 times. In the first option, we are not clear. What do we mean by occasionally? Sometimes means for individual, sometimes means 1 or 2 times. For other individuals, sometimes means 3 to 4 times in a month, often or regularly. So it is not indicating, and it is depicting that it varies from individual to individual, sometime and often and regularly. But in second option, it is clear whether you go to movie theater less than 1 time, 1 or 2 times, 3 or 4 times, or more than 4 times in a month. So which option is better? Yes, again, second option is better. Last, avoid biased question. Biased means the favorable one. Do you think that America should provide the financial aid to poor foreign countries when it is not our responsibility to do so? Do you think that America should provide financial aid to poor foreign countries when it is not our responsibility to do so? Yes, no, and don't. Another option is, do you think America should provide financial aid to poor foreign countries? Yes, no. In the first question, it is quite biased. Why? Because it is telling the America, do you think America should provide financial aid to poor foreign countries when it is not our responsibility? It is giving something, some biasness to us, because the way of asking question is quite different. We can, instead of asking the question in option A, we can directly go for option B, where it is not mentioned it is our responsibility. Do you think we can ask simple question? Do you think that America should provide financial aid to poor countries? Right? So we should avoid double-barreled question, avoid redundant items. I hope it is clear. Yes, you can, Satyamji, you can go for never option, zero times. It is not mentioned there. 0 or less than 1, you can go for that. I have not mentioned there, but as per your convenience, if somebody has not watched any movie up in a month, there are people who do not watch movie. Even I do not watch movie in the theater. So we can give the option 0 time. So let us now go to see the sample of questionnaire. So this is the question based on some. This is a sample of questionnaire. So when we go for designing the questionnaire, the very first thing is to write the purpose of the study. Most of the students are research scholars. So generally it is the trend to write the purpose of the study to examine teachers' beliefs of literacy, and we will make it confidential and all. So this is the first part. Matlab before adding the demographic information, first we write the purpose of the study in short, 2 or 3 lines. Second is to add the demographic information like gender, age, or qualification, or go for income, expenses, education. So this is the first part, that is demographic information. Then we move forward to the next part, that is the survey related to the study. So generally what we do, either we go for binary type of question, either we go for categorical form of questions, either we go for Likert type of scale questions. So we can accordingly we can divide the questions. So we have directly jumped into the Likert scale type of question. So these are the factors: the personality traits, the teaching skill, the instructions material. These are the factors. Under these factors, we have some statements like these 5 questions. These five questions comes under this factor, or we can say that these 5 statements makes this factor 1. These next 5 statements makes this factor 2, and these 5 statements makes this factor 3. So these are the part of Likert scale: strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, and strongly disagree. So let us take one example. See, this was the question that was related to consumer behavior, related to social media and branding. Sorry, these are the questions prepared for social media and branding. So what we have done, this is the profile of respondent. It includes the demographic information, age group, profession, monthly income, marital status, family type. Then in the second part of question, this is the second part. This is the second section. So we took the information related to social media and branding, and it is based on 5 points Likert scale. So all the questions which comes under related to social media and branding, these are the statements. We have 22 statements, and under section 3, we have added some statements related to effect of social media marketing on online purchase decision. So these are some of the statements. That means 22 statements related to effect of social media marketing on online purchase decision. So this is the way of designing, and from where okay, just a minute. Now my question is, can you tell me whether it is scale development or questionnaire design?
Questionnaire design, ma'am.
Yes, for writing a research paper, if it is a quantitative data, if it is a quantitative research, then it is necessary to go for questionnaire, the primary data. If you are going for qualitative research, then it is not required. But I'm not saying it is not required. In qualitative research, questionnaire may be formed, but the open-ended questionnaire will be there. 80 to 90% will be open-ended questionnaire in qualitative research. Yes, for secondary data, you don't need questionnaire. Yes. So I'm giving the example with the help of some papers. So I'll be showing you one paper. So this is the one paper related to the validity and reliability. So let us understand this with the help of questionnaire, some questions and some papers. So this was the paper and the research article. The name of the research article, the title, Designing and Validating the Learner Autonomy Perception Questionnaire. Now, let us understand what they are trying to say. This is the abstract. Now, on the basis of this abstract, I'll ask some questions. The present study aimed to design and validate a question to investigate students' perception of learner autonomy in the context of Vietnamese tertiary education. Vietnamese tertiary education. The questionnaire was adapted from various well-established scales in literature, and then the back translation method was used to produce a version in Vietnam. After the questionnaire development process 1565, around 1500 non-English major at 7 different tertiary institutions of Vietnam voluntarily participated in the study and completed the questionnaire. Evidence of reliability and validity was provided for the instrument using SPSS version 24, Smart PLS, and SPSS MOS. Reliability was evaluated using Cronbach alpha, composite reliability, RHOA value, average inter-item correlation. Validity was substantiated using Messick's framework of validity. Now, the result indicated that reliability reached adequate values and the aspect of validity were most confirmed. The questionnaire therefore was suited to explore how students perceive learner autonomy, but it required more validation for future use in the other context. Now my question to you. Where they took the sample study. First question is from where they took the sample study. Based on the abstract, I will be asking two questions. The first question is what study they have done and where they have done the study. Shall I show the PDF? What study they have, where they took the study. Where the study took place. Any answer from your side?
Study took place in Vietnam, ma'am.
Yes. Another question is whether it was scale development or it was the part of questionnaire design.
According to me, it's questionnaire design.
The study took place in Vietnam. Okay.
Yes.
Now my next question is whether it is questionnaire design or it was scale development.
Ma'am, if you see the title.
Sorry?
Ma'am, it is scale development.
Can you please repeat? many of you are saying it is skill development? How many of you are saying skill development? Can you please raise your hands? Okay. And the remaining were, and how many of you are saying it is questionnaire design? Okay. I'll show you my PDF again. Let us understand with the help of this. See, the present study aimed to design the validate the questionnaire. First we have designed and accordingly we go for validation. Okay. Now, the questionnaire was adapted from various well-established scales in the literature. That means in the literature, from the previous study, with the help of some previous studies, we took some statements and then we go for validation. So that means it is not the questionnaire design, it is scale development, because we then go for some validation, reliability. Here it is mentioned, we go for Cronbach alpha, composite reliability, RHO. That means robust number of reliability and validity options were applied. Another thing is, these statements were taken from the scales in the literature. That means with the help of some literature, we took some points. Accordingly, we framed it. So this is called scale development. I hope it is clear. So this is not questionnaire design, it is scale development. Okay. Clear? And now again, I'm going to show this PDF. So this PDF, this paper talks about first what in the introduction part, what we have done, we prepared a background related to learner autonomy. That is, what is learner autonomy, what previous studies, what previous expert explained the learner autonomy in the introduction part. Then we accordingly, we go for literature review and we named it theoretical framework. So many theories were involved in this. So with the help of some literate experts, the theories developed by the expert were shown here in the form of motivation, in the form of willingness, capacity, ability, right? So the author, what author has done, he tried to show the ability, desire, freedom, how these three are interconnected with each other. And some of the authors were in favor of this, some of the authors were not in favor of this. Right? Now, the main thing is, he took some statements in the methodology part. Let us see. See, in the source of item in the pool, he had showed that 37 number of items he took from the literatures given by HSU in the year 2005. 19 items while developing a scale, he took it from this study Dan 2012 and Young 2007. 18 number of items or statements, he took it from the literature of Chen et al. So altogether, what he has done, he took all these statements from the previous study, and then accordingly he had added 4 statements from his side. So these are the number of items, right? Accordingly, see here what is written over here. He used EFA and CFA. Then he go for some analysis part. Accordingly, he Kaiser Olkin measure sampling adequacy. He go for KMO test. I told you, whenever you go for some scale development, then n number of tests you have to apply. So what he did the same thing to go for reliability and validity. Then accordingly, on the basis of this, he went for the model. We designed the model, checked the reliability, composite reliability, AVE, the value of AVE, right? Square root of AVE. And then accordingly, he suggested some limitation. Clear? So I gave this example. I took the base of this paper to make you understand this. Okay. Now, if I talk about designing the questionnaire, so if the questionnaire are difficult to construct, the good questionnaire are difficult to construct and the bad questionnaire are difficult to analyze. Obviously, if questionnaire is not good, if the instrument is not good, the result will not be good. So questionnaire are the effective mean of measuring the behavior, attitude, and preference of opinion. Questionnaire is it is an instrument. We can say it is an instrument which consists of a set of questions with the aim of collecting some information from the respondents. Questionnaire design does not mean you write question of your own. Instead, you have to take literature as a base. Accordingly, you can design the question or make some changes in the questionnaire. So there is one activity. What you have to do, you have to design at least 2 to 3 questions. One will be binary, second is categorical, and third one is Likert. I'll give you one question, that is effect of motivation on individual behavior. This would be, I think, better. Can you frame any 3 questions taking a base of this activity, effect of motivation on individual behavior? One is binary, second is categorical, third one is Likert. Getting my point? Shall I give you 2 minutes or shall I move forward? Are you framing question or shall I move forward with the hypothesis framing? Hello. Shall I move forward or
Yeah, you continue. Better
sorry,
continue, ma'am. Better
continue?
continue. Yeah.
Now, the next is how to design a questionnaire. Sorry, how to design, how to frame a hypothesis. So, this is the most basic question: how many variables are there, whether it is univariate, bivariate, or multivariate. What is the role? What test should be applied, or how to decide the test that we are going to apply. So, when we go for the objective of the study, suppose this is the objective, you just tell me whether it is bivariate or univariate. Do you understand the difference between bivariate or univariate variable? Do you understand the difference between univariate and bivariate? Are you aware of it? The univariate or bivariate variables. Are you aware of these terminology? Okay. Univariate means only one variable. Univariate, uni means one. The univariate means one variable. Bivariate means when there are two variables. Okay. So when we talk about based on the objective, we will frame the hypothesis. Okay. So just understand whether it is univariate or bivariate. If we talk about univariate means there is single variable. Bivariate means we are talking about two variables. So the objective is to study the intelligence level of BBA student of Lovely Professional University. To study the intelligence level of BBA student of Lovely Professional University. So here, how many variables are there? What we are going to find it out? What we are trying to find it out? If we talk about the objective to study the intelligence level of BBA students of Lovely Professional University, here we are talking about which variable and how
We are
many
talking
variables
about
are there?
One
intelligence of the
variable, ma'am.
student. Intelligence of the student, so it is univariable. One variable.
Yes. So since there is only one variable, we are talking about intelligence level. So it is univariate. Okay. So it is univariate. Clear? Now, if I talk about to study the intelligence level and happiness level of BBA student of Lovely Professional University. Now, how many variables are there?
Two variables.
Although there are two variables, we are talking about two individual variables. One is intelligence level. So this is called univariate, but it is biunivariate. Sorry, it is single univariate. First is intelligence level and second one is happiness level. So still it is univariate because it is not showing the impact of one variable on another. It is not showing the impact of one variable on another, right? Until and unless it is showing the impact of one variable on another, it is not bivariate. Still it is single or it is univariate. One is intelligence level of BBA student, second is happiness level of same BBA student. It is not going to affect the two variables, right? Still it is univariate. Let us take the example of bivariate. When we show the relationship between two or more variables, when we use the word relation, association, effect, influence, difference, compare, when we compare the two variables, then it becomes bivariate. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, to study the intelligence level of BBA student is univariate. To study the intelligence level and happiness level, again, these are two univariate, two single univariate variable. If I talk about to study the effect of intelligence level on this level of BBA student, we are talking of one variable on another. The effect of intelligence level on happiness level of BBA student. So here we are comparing these two. So this is called What do we call?
Bivariant.
Very good. Okay. Now, just tell me to compare the intelligence level of boys and girls. We are comparing the intelligence level of boys and girls.
It is univariant. It is not affecting anyone.
When we show the relationship between the variable. To study the intelligence level of boys and girls, again we are talking about only one variable. To study the intelligence and happiness levels of boys and girls, again we are talking about two univariate variables. Here we are comparing the intelligence level. Either the intelligence level of boys more than girls. Again it is, we are not showing the effect, right? So what do we call?
Univariate.
Ma'am, this one is bivariant.
The intelligence level of boys and the intelligence level of girls. Here we will find out two results, right? And we can see the word compare. When we use these words, compare, difference, impact, effect, relation, it is called bivariate. Okay. Now, can we frame the hypothesis accordingly? Since this is the objective of the study, to study the intelligence level of BBA student of Lovely Professional University. Can we frame the hypothesis? Are we able to frame the hypothesis? Based on this objective of the study, are we able to frame the hypothesis? What type of hypothesis we can frame? There is the intelligence level of BBA student. How will you frame? Since it is null hypothesis, how will you frame the null hypothesis? Based on this objective, the intelligence level of BBA student of Lovely Professional University is not up to the mark. The intelligence level of BBA student of Lovely Professional University is not up to the mark, right? Can we frame this second objective? Can we frame the hypothesis for this second objective?
Yes, ma'am.
How will you frame?
There is a significant relationship between intelligence levels and happiness levels.
Since you are framing the hypothesis, there is significant relationship. Then it will become bivariate. Okay.
Okay.
Remember this. And if we talk about the univariate variable, then how will you frame the hypothesis?
The intelligence and
Level and happiness level of
happy
BBA student,
levels are not up to the mark, or
it is not. It is
equal to
below
the
average.
average which we
Yes.
fix. Some average value which we fix is
Right.
equivalent to that average value.
To study the of BBA university, then how are you going to frame the hypothesis?
Effect of
Hmm?
there is no effect between the intelligence level and
Yes.
happiness level of BBA
Yes.
students.
Yes.
Is our
Perfect.
null hypothesis.
So if you have any query related to this, you can ask. The session is over from my side. I requested the organization to start my online meeting half an hour, just before half an hour of the actual time allotted to me, because still I'm in organization, so it will get late. So I hope you understand. And if you have any query, then you can please ask.
Ma'am, I have one query that
Yes.
for the skill development, what is the role of the objectives of the study?
On the basis of skill development, what is the role of objective of the study?
Yes, I mean to say prepare for the questionnaire.
Hmm.
What is the role of objectives? Might be possible that when we will not discuss the objectives, it is not possible to prepare the right questionnaire for the particular
These all things are
administrative group.
interconnected, sir. If your objective to meet the objective of the study, your questionnaire, the instrument that you are using should be correct. Accordingly, you should frame the hypothesis on the basis of objective. Then, to test the research frame the hypothesis, to test the research hypothesis, you have to apply the test, whether it is t-test, whether it is z-test, whether it is ANOVA. So to meet the objective, this sequence takes place. So at every step, you have to be cautious. At every step, you should confirm that I'm going in the right direction. Once you form the objective, then you go for the questionnaire. Now, whether your questionnaire is correct or not, it depends on two things. You first see from where you have taken the statements, it is related to your study or not, the literature taken from the past. Second thing is, based on your expert, you take some guidance from the expert. The third thing is, once you get the data, just check whether it is reliable or not. So you can do this with the help of SPSS.
Thanks, ma'am.
Please, participants, any other questions?
If you have any query, you may please ask, or you can type it on the chat box. Any query?
Participants, if you have any queries, please go ahead. Priyanka ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, I think there are no more questions, so shall we conclude?
Shall we okay, we can conclude this.
So it's time to conclude today's session. But before that, I want to express my sincere appreciation to every participant. A heartfelt acknowledgement is extended to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Priyanka ma'am, for generously sharing invaluable insights. Additionally, I extend our sincere gratitude to the organizing committee and sponsors for their unwavering support, which has been instrumental in the success of these programs. With profound gratitude for everyone's participation, we officially conclude today's session. Your contributions have been immensely valued. Thank you so much.
Shall we leave the session? If you have any query related to this, you can drop your questions on chat box. If it is not possible right now, then you can submit your questions to on the group. Shall we take a leave now? Thank you so much.